Hello, hello, hello. It's Suzana Mihailovic here. Welcome to your 5-minute success hack. I want to share a story with you, and I think many of you will be able to relate. So many of you know a little bit about me. You know my story. You know that I've been in senior management for 3 decades of my career, middle to senior management, always in the self-help or helping profession, and absolutely have always loved what I do. But I had a dream for a very long time, what I really wanted to do and what I really was great at was what I'm doing now, and that's coaching people to break through to their higher potential to achieve their goals. So January 31st, 2017, I cannot believe we are coming up to 8 years in business, 8 years since I left full-time employment. January 31st, 2017 was my last day of full-time employment. And I left work without any plans, never being in business before, knowing what I wanted to do, but not having a clue as to how to do it. I was in a job all of my life. I think there was a period of about 6 weeks in my early 30s after I had come back from working in Japan for a year. That 6 weeks was the only time that I've ever in my adult life not had a job. So my whole adult life, I have relied on paycheck to paycheck. So me going into an office, doing some great work, meeting my KPIs and exceeding my KPIs, leading organizations, leading teams, bringing organizations to the next level, whatever my role was. And as a result of my output and my great work, I was paid a check. I received money in my account every second week for the work that I had been doing in the job. And that's all I knew. So when I left full-time employment in 2017, I knew what I wanted to do, but my God, did I go through the terror barrier. I was absolutely frozen with anxiety. I did not know what the next step was. And then those voices started to come up, and the voices started to take over. And some of you, I probably think most of you, I'm pretty sure most of you have experienced this voice. It goes something like, what is such and such going to think? What is my boss going to think? What is the CEO going to think? What are my parents, even though I was in my 40s, what are my parents going to think? What are my friends going to think? Now that I've left a pretty good paying job to go into business, to be an international coach, when I was in debt, especially. And this message, this chatter in my head absolutely consumed me. And I started to learn the steps that I needed to take to start my business and get clients, but I was absolutely paralyzed, until one day I gathered the courage to say, well, stuff what everybody thinks. I'm just going to post on Facebook about my services, about what I'm doing now as a businesswoman. So I clearly remember, I'll never forget the day when I posted my first post as a success coach in business on my own. So I posted on Facebook, put some words together. I can't remember what the words were, put a photo in there and pressed the button. I pressed the post button. And I was relieved. I was excited. I felt the rush of adrenaline move through my body. And that was the message to me that my business was finally launched. And then I had an appointment at the hairdresser. So it was probably about 1 kilometre away from where I live. So I walked there, really excited, felt great, went to get my hair done. And by the time I got back home, I felt absolutely sick to my toes, sick to my whole stomach, my whole body. It was shaking in anxiety. And the voice turned from excitement, you're going to do this, your business has been launched, you're doing what you want, to, oh shit, what have I done? What have I done? People have seen my post. What are they going to think of me? I'm not a businesswoman. I'm not a coach. They're going to laugh at me. And that consumed me for quite a few weeks until I forced myself to post again and again and again. And I thought that the fear of what people thought of me after a few years in business actually went away. And I'm going to leave my story here, and I'm going to give you a part 2 in the next Your Success Hack. So I hope you can relate to my story, and if you can, come back for part 2 to watch the next 5 minutes.